Hey everybody, it's Brad Axelrad here with Wake Up OC. Really excited to share some brilliance with Dr. Stephen Schwartz today. He's our upcoming speaker on Saturday, March 28th on our virtual summit. We've now taken Wake Up OC from our live events currently to avoid too much socializing, too close of socializing. Okay, can't speak today, but really excited to have Dr. Schwartz share his brilliance around vibration and autoimmune. And basically something he said to me that was really profound last week is that, and I'd heard it twice last week, about how Candida and chronic bacteria and infection throughout the body can really create a lot of immune dysfunction. So anyway, Dr. Schwartz, really happy to have you here, buddy. Say hello real quickly.
Hey there, Brad. Hello, Wake Up OC community. I tell you what, this is great. I don't really have to leave my chair, and we got this whole new world happening, unfolding, and it's stressful times. It's exciting times. You know what I've been referring this to? This is the dawn of the golden age.
And what is this golden age, buddy? I'm all ears.
You know what? I just think about my life, and I think about how I just go from event to event to event to event, and how I know living here in Los Angeles and in Southern California, and everybody's just, they love you, but they're just busy doing whatever they're doing. And whatever given day, you have a choice of one of three things that you could possibly do, and all of them are super, super rad, Brad Axelrad.
Speaking my language, buddy.
Yeah.
So
and now of a sudden, we're forced to disconnect from close contact, to stay indoors, listen to whatever communication's coming on. And here's the thing, the human spirit doesn't operate like that. The human spirit operates from a place of creativity. And I can tell you, I'm super creative. I have a lot of projects that I was wanting to get done in the month of March and wasn't sure exactly where that was all going to fit in. And now I've been having a universal guide has said, okay, you have to stay indoors for the next X number of who knows how long. I just have a feeling when we are allowed to go outside and into the world again, what's going to be created? Mm-hmm. There's going to be all kinds of art, all kinds of books, all kinds of poetry, all kinds of songs being written. I can tell you we're redesigning our entire company, and I'm super inspired. We're launching, my music, a whole new music platform. Apps are coming out because we have nothing but time.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
So this is great. And I almost feel like when we think about the coronavirus, we think about biblical times and the coronas that would be over top of all of the apostles' heads, that these were down, this was their auras. And so what is this virus doing? It's penetrating into people's energy fields of low vibration. And who are getting sick? People that are suffering from chronic systemic inflammation, people that are suffering from toxicity, people that are suffering from degeneration, people that are suffering from immune compromises. These are all symptoms of low vibration. And so on one level, we see this little speck that I've read studies, they say that, general viruses, check this out, just as a side, as a size of what we're dealing with, 0.001 to 3 millimeters. It's a freaking speck. It's an energetic disturbance living inside of a cell, and it's attracted to lower vibrations.
I want to speak to that because, like I've shared publicly yesterday, for the first time with Justin Franson, another sponsor and speaker at Wake Up OC, was that, you know, I think I'd actually, pretty sure I contracted the virus when I was in Thailand, probably in December, but it didn't hit me until the beginning of January. And I was sicker than a dog for a couple of weeks with, you know, really bad pneumonia. And, you know, my immune system was a little bit compromised just from all the scrambling to get there and, you know, to get over to Thailand and flying in airplanes. And I was a little bit tired. So, and I was able to get through it. But, you know, to your point, like immune compromised individuals are challenged by this, but I think also healthy individuals are challenged by it too. They just may recover quicker. It may not dip down into such illness, but my lungs were really compromised and they're still 80 or 90%. They're not 100%. There's some scarring and some other stuff left in there. But my point in saying all of that is this, that it does and can attack healthy individuals. I think we should maybe land that plane that it can, but it'll probably kill someone that's got more immune challenges, I think is what you're really saying in that.
Yeah, and like, I don't want to be like, oh, you know, you're low vibration. You know,
right.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm super stressed.
Right.
You know, I mean, I moved out of my apartment. I left all of my stuff out there. We were having an incredible 2020.
Right.
I just came back from Costa Rica.
Yep.
I had some life changes with my partner at the time. A lot of things have been going on. I'm in a house full of strangers that I'm a guest in. I don't have access to just going out and doing whatever it is I want to do. I've been cooped up inside this house. Yeah. I'm concerned about, do I have enough food? Do I have enough water? Yeah. What are we doing with this company? You know, we're moving everything online. You know, sales have dropped off.
Yep.
I'm stressed.
Yep.
My vibration, but you know what's so great? I have 3 vibes set up, and we have an entire, I'm not even using the word biohacking. We have a complete quantum healing house.
I love it.
That's set up. In fact, have you heard of the Spooky 2?
No.
It's a biofeedback system,
okay.
And it has the frequencies of coronavirus, and you can lay in the scalar field, and it'll scan you and tell you if you have it. So we're scanning everybody in the house. I got scanned already. I'm clear, and a couple other people. Everybody's getting scanned today. And you know what? We just came up with a plan. If anybody has it, we begin treatment on it.
Yeah, right.
And we do vibes every day. We do work with we work with my ASA balance. That's something I developed back in 2010.
So let me interrupt you. Please share what the vibes are and what the ASA is. We don't know what those are.
Nobody knows what that is. So my background, I'm a chiropractor by license, practicing in Colorado since 2000 until I moved to California in 2015. My background's in working with chronic degenerative conditions, allergies, autoimmune diseases, all using vibrational techniques and technologies. I started working in 2010. I started working with biofeedback system as I was switching away. I'm a kinesiologist. I would muscle reflex test people's bodies and then use these what I call little energy signatures to reprogram their bodies. I had like 1,000 of them. Technologies began to come out where we could put that onto a computer system. So I was hired to consult on the development of something called the ASA balance. And it was a biofeedback system that used galvanic skin response. You put a cuff on your wrist, and you would have thousands of frequencies, all in different categories, and you could scan the body, and it would assess, balance, and correct any imbalances in your body from a variety of different things. And I was the national trainer for that. I wrote all the protocols for that. I wrote all the manuals. I sold to most of our customers. And it was the cornerstone of my practice, really, from 2010 until I moved to California. And also at that same time, and going back a little bit further, in 2007, I started making therapeutic music as a delivery system for my patients. That's launched my music company, Bioharmonic Technologies. And I started making technologies that, instead of just listening to therapeutic music through headphones or through a speaker, you would lay on an apparatus, on a bed, on a device that would vibrate directly into your connective tissue. And it was great for clearing cellular memory. It's like body hypnosis. So I worked with that and different lasers, class 3 lasers, class 4 lasers, things like that, all for healing the body using sound, light, frequency, and vibration. So some of these devices, they've also, those vibe beds, those have been something that has evolved. I was just telling you, Brad, that I had an invitation from my first ever vibrational technology client in Colorado who invited me to come stay with her when this coronavirus broke out. And I'm a Los Angeles refugee right now.
I understand.
Yeah, I'm a refugee hiding out, not in Venice. But you know, I got an invitation to come to a safe house here east of the city, cool. And we have 3 of these vibrational individualized body enhancement systems, the Vibes. That's my company, and they're great for relaxation. They're great for immune system boosting. They're great for body hypnosis. And actually, one of my albums called Cell Cleanser that came out in 2015, it was designed for killing pathogens and harmonizing negative EMFs. And it's ironic because it actually has a picture of this biological viruses on the cover, and it kind of looks like the coronavirus.
Right. Isn't that on your book? No, isn't that on the book?
Actually, that's on the cover of. But yeah, look, it's got all these crazy viruses.
Yeah.
This is my book.
Yeah.
So I'm really feeling when I wrote this book. Okay, so to finish up the other conversation about this was, we have this house of this scalar frequencies, and you lay in it, it can assess you. It's called the Spooky 2, and it's a biofeedback system, and you can see if you have coronavirus. And you know what? People are like, "Whoa, wow, that's crazy. How's that work? Why isn't everybody using it?"
Right.
This technology has been around for a long time.
Right.
This isn't anything new, and it's definitely not woo-woo. It's actually super advanced science. And just for all of the listeners out there, just if you're thinking this is too far-fetched, I can't understand this, I just want you to just conceptualize this. Whatever level of education you may have or knowing, it doesn't really matter. Just kind of be with me in this idea of this is who we are. And who we are consists of 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells. And when you look at a cell, you have to look at it really under a microscope. Even if you scrape off one little cell onto and you're looking at it like on your computer on a table, it's tiny. So within that one cell, there's all this respiration and metabolism going on to make multiple cells. But that size of a cell, let's just say it looks like this, okay? Now, remember I told you the size of this virus, 0.001 to 3 millimeters. It's like 100th of a millimeter.
Wow.
So picture that inside of one of your cells. We're not operating in the physiology of what we call Newtonian physics, which is an apple falls on my head and it's, there's gravity and acceleration and mass and all these things that operate this 3D world. We're operating in the world of quantum. So if we have a vibrational disturbance that's carrying genetic material that can penetrate into your cells, that have lacking cell walls, that are stealthy, that the immune system can't even detect, that's what we're dealing with.
Right.
It's energy. So it only makes sense that that we would have an energy device be able to read that specific energy signature, and that same technology can also shatter or eliminate or boost the immune system, so it creates an inhospitable environment for it to live. So it actually makes more sense to me than because people, for the record, there are no antiviral pharmaceuticals. Right. They don't exist. You can take antimicrobial herbs and you can take antimicrobial mushrooms. Those exist. But there's nothing pharmaceutically that is a natural you know what they use as an antiviral? Immunosuppressive drugs. Right. So whatever your doctor's telling you, whatever you're reading, I'm just here to dispel that information on your. So really, you're left with how do you heal from a virus? And I would ask, the question would be, how do you heal from the flu? Hydrate, rest, eat great food, de-stress yourself, get on a vibe system, and be happy. Raise your vibration, because if you create a higher vibration, you don't have an environment that a virus can thrive in. They don't like it.
So let's talk about that for a second. So vibration, things that lower your vibration, obviously negative thoughts, poor diet, systemic Candida overgrowth. And you, like I said, you were the second person that had mentioned that. And my other sweet friend, Patty Yu, had said the same thing. And she's who had me go through multiple Candida cleanses and, heal my gut and do all that other stuff to get my immune system. But even with a good immune system, I still got the virus. They say it's so small, it penetrates through most masks anyway, maybe even the N95 mask, which is a tad concerning.
But this is my point.
Yeah.
It's not going to target you if you have a different vibration. I mean, I went to my safe house and I did this mass refugee exodus from my place in Venice. And then when I really took stock, I was like, wait a second. Okay. And I got this invitation to go here. And I said, I'm going back. I got to go back in and do like a proper secure, and I went into the city, and then I was with a friend, and we ended up doing this whole thing, and it turned into like this whole day. And I got to be honest with you, I was super skeeved out, just like going into public places and seeing people not wearing gloves and just all this interaction, and you don't know who's caring and who's not caring. And then you start getting paranoid, and your people aren't looking at each other, and they're like avoiding one another. Dude, that's in violation of the human spirit. Mm-hmm. That lowers the vibration.
Right.
But I wanted to make a comment about the Candida. People that have been on, if you drink alcohol, that usually creates an imbalance in your gut. If you're taking pharmaceuticals or recreational drugs, that lowers the gut flora. If you're eating crappy food, that happens. If you've been on pharmaceuticals maybe as a kid, 20, 30, 40 years ago, but you never megadosed on probiotics, you could still be dealing with these imbalances. So I'm actually working with a dear friend of mine. Her company's called Nucleic. And Dr. Paula Rochelle, she's an incredible naturopathic doctor out of Oklahoma, one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. In fact, she just came out with her new product line, and I said, what probiotics do you have? And I bought, actually, I'd love to share this story. It's kind of a funny Corona story. So I said, I'm traveling to Bali, so I can't take a whole lot of stuff with me. I'm down with probiotics, and give me one other recommendation. And she sent me this berberine. It's berberine plant, which is kind of like a super, super antioxidant kind of turmeric. Even though it's not turmeric, it's like a superfood, and it stabilizes blood sugar levels. It's great for mental clarity, all these things. So I ordered it up, and everything kind of hit the fan. And I was in my safe house, and I drove back, and I was hoping that my shipment came. And I show up, and I go by the elevator, and my box was there, and it was ripped open, and there was papers everywhere. And yeah, somebody totally looted my order.
Oh, geez.
And I went into where the mailroom is, and there was another box there, and I grabbed it, and I just threw it in my van, and I got back, and I was unpacking everything, and I ordered 10 bottles of everything. Oh. And whoever looted it, they took 2 bottles of each product and left the rest. So I had some very polite looters.
Well, they're pretty polite. Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Yeah. Fair. They didn't take all of my stuff, so I've been selling it. And I've been taking it, and if anybody's interested in really the highest quality probiotics, let me know. Or any of this berberine, just Google it, BERBINE. We've been taking it. It's 1,000 milligrams per capsule, and it all contributes to. And you don't do it once you're sick.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. I mean, okay. Prevention is the best medicine, and obviously, cleanses to remove Candida or other things. The gut biome is about the most important thing we've got for our immune system, of course. So what's that look like? What are some of the things you recommend? I mean, of course, cleanses are great, but right now it feels like people may not want to go for a full-on cleanse. They're up for some boosting of things. So probiotics, I'm eating way more positive producing foods than normal, like a lot of greens, a lot of probiotics, probiotic rich things like lactose-free kefir and fermented vegetables and bone broth, L-glutamine. I'm drinking way more vitamin C by way of lemon into alkaline water every day. I'm doing probably 3 times the amount of vitamin C by way of lemon. What else would you recommend in that regard?
I mean, I think what you're doing is great. Obviously turmeric. Turmeric is a natural anti-inflammatory. And you know what? As I'm at the supermarket, what I think is really interesting is when they show all those pictures of everything that's gone. Yep. Look at the stuff that's not gone.
All the healthy stuff is left behind.
Yeah. I was at the Air One out in Calabasas the other day, and dude, they had all these like turmeric teas and all these like amazing. It was fully stocked, and I'm like, what are people taking? Yeah.
I get pasta. There was no pasta. And I'm like, oh no, if I need to just have something as emergency. And I look up the emergency stuff. And there's all this organic edamame pasta there, like 20 of them. And that's what I would eat anyway. Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome.
That's great. Yeah, I know. I got some, my emergency thing of pasta.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way right now. Okay. So to answer your question, I actually think the biggest thing that we all need to deal with at this moment, not so much what we're eating, because I feel that actually there's probably more people eating more food now than most people ever eat.
Probably.
Because most people will go out to dinner, are always going out for their meals, and they're grabbing a this and they're grabbing a that. And now they're eating home, and there's just more food in their home, and they have things stockpiled. Yeah. So I'm not concerned. I mean, it's funny because actually I have a lot of like things that aren't going to go bad. I think the problem is, juicing and things like that. I mean, how much can you possibly buy for how long before it starts going? And that's a that's a challenge, just based off of, because we don't know what we're going into. We don't know where this is going to go. We don't know how long any of this is going to be going on for, and we don't know to what extreme cases these supermarkets are going to stay open or any of these things. So I think that the number one thing that we could really work with, that I'm actually really working with hard because I've been having my own challenges with it, to be candid with you, is work on our thoughts, is really work with the fear. Work with, you need to be safe. Get to a safe place. People, if you're watching this, find a place that you feel intuitively safe being. And then you also need to truly use caution. Be cautious about who you're interacting with. And if they're just coming in and off the street, who are these people? Everybody should have their bug out zone now. Like, they should be there. They should have their 1 or 2 or whoever. I mean, we have 6 people in this house, and I'm a guest in this house. So I've been kind of saying, let's secure the borders, Right. So, but I feel that this is the biggest thing, because fear is what lowers the vibration. Mm. So,
good point.
And I also feel like the messages that I'm getting from my Vibe Tribe community, from friends and loved ones, is everybody's scared.
Yeah.
And they're saying, can you send something positive to me? Mm. And I started writing about the golden age. And I have one tattoo on my body, and it's the Japanese symbol for chaos. Mm. And I remember when I was getting it, one of my teachers, she's a friend of mine in Boulder, Colorado. She's like, oh my God, why would you ever get that tattooed on your body? But when you read the definition of the Japanese symbol of chaos, it states, from disorganization comes organization.
Yeah.
And before something brilliant can be born, it usually you look foolish to the masses. And I've always resonated with that. And that's why it made sense to get that tattoo. But in terms of how this is going on with us in this planet, this day and age, we are super organized in a completely broken world in every level. So the only way for us to break through that is to create chaos.
Yeah, well said.
To disorganize the organized dysfunction, and now allowing things to reorganize.
Yeah,
and that's where we are.
Shake things up. We got to shake things up, and this is the.
Well, we don't got to shake them up, but they are being shaken up.
Yeah. Well,
and we're getting shaken up in paramount ways that I've never seen. I don't think any of us have seen in our lifetime. And the last time we seen shake up like this was like World War II. I mean, 9/11. If you think about 9/11, 9/11 was contained to one real major city, and then the Pentagon and the crashed airplane, and it had global effects. But I mean, really, if you weren't in New York, this is global.
We've never seen anything like this. We have, certainly not as modern humans. Of course, the Spanish flu and all the other things have come around and decimated many, many millions of people. But this is definitely the beginning of a meltdown and a retooling, a reworking. It's definitely going to be a catalyst to get people to rethink their business models, the way they navigate with their own health. I think that's another positive benefit from it, is it's going to get people to recognize that hygiene's important, gut biome, how we navigate in our businesses and don't take things for granted. There's so many businesses that were having banner months and years, like even you were talking about that, and you hear Trump talking about the airline industry having these banner months and everything's great, and it just off a cliff, gone, vaporized, and people are in despair. So I think what I'm saying there is,
is anybody even flying? Are they flying? Is there any flights? Can anybody fly anywhere? I don't think so.
It's probably about to be shut down soon if it hasn't been already. But yeah, a lot of the board, I was supposed to go to Colombia to get stem cells, really excited. But anyway, let's get back on topic. Well, what people want to do, and then we're going to wrap up real quickly here. But share about Primal Residents and what you spoke about in that. And
I want to share about this. Since 2000, my first ever training I ever took was in San Diego when I was living in Colorado. As a very young doctor, I went and learned about how vibrationally and energetically we could reprogram the immune system to identify, target, and destroy infectious agents using energy. Wow, blew my mind, changed my life. And this book that it became the pillar of my practice really from that moment forward. And in this book, the first chapter is called A New Epidemic in America. And if you read it, it talks about chronic systemic inflammation. And you know what? I had a business coach one time. She said to me, she goes, you got to talk about stuff that's sexy. And I'd be treating allergies, and she's like, phenolics aren't sexy. She's like, cat allergies are sexy because people have that. They can really connect with it. And when I'm talking about autoimmune diseases and allergies, people have it, but it's not really sexy.
Right.
Now in the world of this global pandemic, everybody wants to know about chronic systemic inflammation. And then everybody also wants to know about the other chapter 11 in my book called Eliminating Infectious Agents. When I wrote this, these were clinical applications that I had been working with since 2000. Never in my conscious mind did I think that it was going to be more relevant than it is right now.
Right.
And so I am offering these chapters as a free gift to everybody that wants them, because you need to know this information. And if you're interested in picking up the book, I can give you a link for that as well too. But I would love to link you to my to the free chapters, and we can put it. I'll give that to you, Brad, and you can put it wherever you want to put it. But this is what's been referred to as the doctrine to the new earth. And I never understood why people. Well, that's not true. I thought I understood. Yeah. But it's a lot more relevant now.
It is. And the things we've talked about, I just want to speak to the chronic systemic inflammation, and that is Candida, but what else is it? It's just sugar, which feeds Candida. Like what's that process of getting chronic inflammation? Like, for example, I thought I had fibromyalgia for a long time.
Yeah.
And I just figured, I raced motocross for years. I've been abusing my body. But as soon as I started getting alkaline and doing some Candida cleanses, a lot of my inflammation everywhere in my gut lining, in my body, it's all gone away, right? So how does someone, what is chronic systemic inflammation? Like, what is that really? Candida and like what else?
So let's put it this way: Candida is a symptom,
right,
of dysbiosis. This is really what's so interesting about this definition, because you don't have fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, depression, all these things. They all are one thing: chronic systemic inflammation that's affecting different parts of the body based off of different energetic imbalances from trauma. And so chronic, long-term, systemic, full-body inflammation, which is a walling off of against injurious agents or triggers from various things. So when we think about injurious agents, it can be from a variety of different toxins. It can come from a variety of different infections. It can come from crappy diet or allergies or crappy programming in our minds, because all the arrows work in the same direction. So all of these things feed. I can tell you, anybody has fibromyalgia, 100%, they all have some kind of long-standing, unresolved, very deep emotional trauma. And I would say that to my clients. They'd say to me, oh yeah, let me tell you all about it for the next hour. And so, this is where it comes down to. And I think it's interesting how you talk about how you race motocross. My background's in sports medicine, and it was always fascinating to me before I got involved with this. How is it that some people get injured more than others? And in the sports medicine world, you have people that can rebound quickly, and you have others that it's just injury after injury after injury. And in sports medicine world, everything is bone and ligament and tendons and muscles. They don't look at systemic inflammation. They don't look at things like that. And so they miss it. They miss it all the time. Instead, they should be referring them to, not that I would do this, but just relevance, to a rheumatologist, because that would be more, or an internal medicine doctor to get them to balance, or a naturopathic doctor, which would be even better, or a chiropractor, acupuncture, something like that, that can really get them balanced to move you to the next level. And that's the shame about a lot of high performing athletes that never reach their potential, because they're misdiagnosed.
Yeah, and they're just systemic challenges that they're not aware of because it's not mainstream. It's like, oh, your muscle hurts. Like, okay, well, you're not giving it the proper nutrition or nutrients or whatever. But okay, so we're wrapping up here, Doc. So
one last thing I wanted to share, just to tie up this whole bow. You know what the number one profile of people with chronic systemic inflammation are? Type A people. The people that go, and motorcycles, and you're not meditating. You're going to the gym and you're training, and you work 60 hours a week, and you're going here. Me.
Yeah.
So that's what's so beautiful about what's happening right now. I hope the coronavirus doesn't come to Dr. Schwartz, and I hope that everybody in our little space is safe, and everybody that's hearing this is safe. If it does, I hope that I can heal from it quickly and without insult, as many as possible. But I'm also saying the lesson of this whole thing is become a type B person. Relax. Allow our nervous systems to shift back into a parasympathetic rest and repose position, not being so stressed in this sympathetic stress all the time. And I feel like that's why this coronavirus may be more of a saint. It has a lesson for us all. to help us truly step into this golden age that I'm excited to be a part of, and I'm excited to have a voice in.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, Brad and Stephen E., for really allowing me to be part of your Wake Up community. And, you know, ironically, I met Stephen E. at the biohacking conference 1 year ago, I think in a couple of weeks, that is now canceled. So even though something's not going to happen again the following year, so much goodness has come from this one connection. And I think about who are we connecting with, even if we're not sitting in the same rooms with them, but they're hearing this message on a global level. And so I feel like almost this is better.
Yeah. In some regards it is. So just to be clear, guys, you know, again, Dr. Schwartz has been a sponsor, one of our early adopters at the Wake Up OC events. And, you know, obviously to speak to Dave Asprey's event, which is what I think you're referencing, that was sort of going to be the tell for us to, or the decider, if he canceled or postponed that event, we were canceling and or taking Wake Up OC online, which we decided to do for March 28th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which you'll hear Dr. Schwartz again in length, and also Dr. Stephen Small, and all of our sponsors are going to share their brilliance as well. But you're right. We're reaching a whole new audience with this. This is really great. It's fun. We're going to be doing these anyway. We had planned to do these before Corona came into the game here and came out to play, and now we get to play on a global stage. So, what's your final thought as we wrap here?
Gratitude, rest, relaxation, creativity, activation, and take care of yourself, and gratitude.
Yeah, we really should practice gratitude. Very high frequency, feels good release of positive hormones into our body, into our bloodstream. So I'm with you there. What can we be grateful for in this moment? We've got to be grateful for the breakdowns and the chaos. Like you're saying, that reframe of chaos is something to be grateful for. And the time inside is awesome. And I still think, guys, get outside. Stay away from people, but get outside. Get some fresh air. Don't hibernate. Don't isolate. Do some walks. Get outside. And that's kind of all I'll leave us with. You know, we need to be away from crowds. And as I've been studying the Spanish flu, it's all because people were together and it just spread that way, right? I mean, again, we can spread it with people within 6 feet too, but everyone's isolated now. The likelihood of you going for a walk and being close to someone's pretty slim. So get outside, get some air. It's going to raise your frequency. Find some gratitude in that space, in that fresh air. And yeah. Okay, buddy.
Oh, and I'm thankful for Zoom.
Yeah, we tried to stream. We tried to stream it to Facebook.
And I'm thankful
Live,
for Facebook.
Yeah, I just think so many people are on Facebook Live, linking Zoom to Facebook Live. It just melted down. It wouldn't, so we just did a recording here on Zoom. But okay, man, this was a long one. I'm glad we went so long. Yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks everybody. We'll see you. We'll see you really soon. Thanks again, Doc.
Vibes.